Hello, this is Robert from Kanga, and this is the 6th episode of Kanga News. Below the 5th episode of Kanga News, some of you have asked, where is the lady? Spoiler, the lady is going to come back. For now, please remember to like and subscribe this video so that you can stay up to date with the latest crypto news. So, let's talk about American ETF market first. Bitcoin spot funds in the United States are seeing outflows. The Grayscale Bitcoin Trust was not the biggest culprit. The ARK21 shares Bitcoin ETF saw 31.34 million leave the product on April 29th, while GBTC experienced 24 million in net outflows per data from SoSoValue. The Fidelity-Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund also saw a net outflow of 6.85 million. Some US spot Bitcoin ETFs saw net inflows. The Bitwise Bitcoin ETF gained the most with a net inflow of almost $7 million, while the Valkyrie Bitcoin Fund and Franklin Bitcoin ETF garnered 2.67 million and 1.82 million respectively. The other spot Bitcoin ETFs, including BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, had official net inflows of $0. Since garnering regulatory approval and listing, spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US have garnered a cumulative total net inflow of nearly $12 billion. Volumes, however, have been steadily declining since peaking on March 5th. Where some people are noticing outflows, others are playing in the other direction. A great example of that is the well-known market veteran. Michael Saylor's software firm, MicroStrategy, bought the dip, expanding its enormous pile of Bitcoin with more than 1% of the total supply in hand. On Monday, the software firm and Bitcoin development company announced its Q1 2024 financial results and took the opportunity to note that it has purchased even more Bitcoin since the end of March amid a rough few weeks for the crypto markets. MicroStrategy purchased 122 additional Bitcoin for a total of 7.8 million between April 1st and April 26th, according to the report. While that's smaller than many of the company's previous Bitcoin buys over the last years and a drop in the ocean compared to its overall stash, it does push the size of the company's holdings to a new all-time peak. As of Friday, MicroStrategy holds 214,400 Bitcoin, or $15.5 billion worth at the current price of the asset. It's also more than 1% of the total supply of Bitcoin that will ever be created, with nearly 20 million Bitcoins of the total 21 million supply currently circulating. Even with Bitcoin falling more than $10,000 from its recent all-time high price of $73,000 set in March, the firm is very much in the green on its gradually growing investment. The cost basis of MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings currently sits at 35.180 per coin, according to the press release, while the current price of Bitcoin, according to CoinGecko, is $63,000. MicroStrategy founder and chairman Michael Saylor is one of the most outspoken Bitcoin bulls in the corporate world. Not only did he pivot his company's focus to Bitcoin, but he also frequently posts laser-eyed Bitcoin memes and conducts interviews about the asset. Hong Kong's Bitcoin, BTC and Ether ETH ETFs failed to lift off on their trading debut in Hong Kong, coming dramatically under initial expectations. The 6 listed crypto ETFs pushed $11 million in volume, with Bitcoin ETFs posting 8.5 million in volume and Ether ETFs coming in at 2.5 million. Issuers expected the initial volume to be over 100 million, according to local media reports. Ether ETFs are allowed in Hong Kong's market as regulators in the Chinese territory don't have the same concerns about Ether being a security as their counterparts in the US. A US Ether ETF won't be listed for quite some time, as the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, won't clearly say if they consider Ether to be a security. Ether ETFs are also listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange via issuers such as Evolve and Purpose Investments. On the first day in the US, total trading volume hit $655 million. The market seems surprised. We were expecting this kind of situation exactly, and not long ago we were informing about a similar scenario. So, I'm reminding you to subscribe this channel because this is the best crypto channel in the world. A single Bitcoin miner has defied the odds by solving a Bitcoin block alone, netting them the full 3.125 Bitcoin block reward. On April 28th, software engineer and administrator from the solo mining pool CK-Pool Konkolivas posted to X that the miner had solved the 282nd solo block in Bitcoin's history. He added that the solo miner had a large hash rate of around 120 petahashes per second at the time, equal to around 0.12 exahashes per second, with an average of around 12 petahashes over a week, which is roughly 0.02% of the total network hash rate. The Bitcoin block reward was recently reduced from 6.25 to 3.125 Bitcoin in the Bitcoin halving at block 800,040 on April 20th, meaning block 841,286 was worth around 200,000 at the time. Kolivas examined the block solve summary, postulating that the miner recently switched from pooled mining after the halving, presumably for no longer recouping their electricity costs for a chance at a solo block, or they have been intermittently renting large amounts solo. The feat is remarkable because mining a valid block solo is an extremely rare event, akin to winning the lottery. It is so rare that it has only occurred 282 times out of the 800,000 blocks produced since Bitcoin's inception 14 years ago. Mining Bitcoin requires participants to input computational power to solve and add the next block to the network. However, with the asset's price increasing, mining has exploded in popularity, resulting in an increase in competitiveness known as difficulty and hash rate, network horsepower, meaning that it is almost impossible to solve a block alone. In March 2023, it was reported that a solo miner netted the entire 6.25 Bitcoin reward for solving a block. However, prices were much lower then, so the reward was around $150,000. The most recent solo mined block was on April 5th, a couple of weeks before the halving, when a solo miner solved block 837,814 with 7 petahashes of hash rate, netting a reward of around $422,000 at the time. The average network hash rate is currently 618 exahashes, having hit an all-time high of 728 exahashes on April 23rd, according to BitInfoCharts. It has increased by more than 90% over the past 12 months, making the latest solo mining achievement even more exceptional. Despite the drop in revenue for Bitcoin miners to levels last seen in early 2023, they are holding on to their holdings rather than selling, CryptoQuant says. In an X post on April 30th, CryptoQuant CEO Ki-Yoon Ju said that miners now have two options: capitulate or wait for a rise in Bitcoin's price, which is currently trading at around $63,000, adding that, quote, "there are no signs of capitulations for now," end quote. Analysts at Coinbase Research noted in a research report that following the halving, the coordinated release of runes on Bitcoin, an alternative to the BRC20 protocol, resulted in an all-time high of $81 million spent on transaction fees in one day. The analysts say the increase in variable transaction fees in conjunction with the BTC rally during Q1 could support the continued growth of network hash rate for some time, suggesting miners may find it profitable to continue participating in Bitcoin mining at current price levels. Bitcoin underwent its fourth halving on April 20th after its 840,000th block was mined. The network is programmed to undergo halvings every 210,000 blocks, reducing the block reward by half each time. This event is considered by the crypto community as significant as it affects the supply of new Bitcoins entering circulation. Historically, Bitcoin's price has experienced significant movements around halving events, with some investors anticipating a price increase due to the recent reduction in supply. However, the latest upgrade occurred in a different context, as Bitcoin reached a new all-time high even before the halving took place, leading some to argue that the landscape has evolved compared to previous cycles. The miners are still not capitulating, and this is showing their bullish expectations towards the market. If yours are similar, you should definitely come and visit Kanga.exchange, where you will easily buy a Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Willy Woo has emerged with a bullish prediction that has stirred considerable excitement among enthusiasts. Wu particularly underscored the potential for Bitcoin's price to surge dramatically, using the term ballistic to describe the expected trajectory post-halving. Wu's analysis delves into the Bitcoin's supply dynamics. The cryptocurrency has previously recorded an annual supply growth rate of 1.7%, which was halved to 0.85% 2 weeks ago. This reduction favors Bitcoin's supply growth rate compared to traditional asset like gold, which boasts an annual supply growth rate of approximately 1.6%. Moreover, Wu juxtaposes Bitcoin's supply growth against the US dollar, characterized by a negative growth rate attributed to inflation. As the USD supply growth trends back to a standard range of 5 to 10%, Wu anticipates a momentous surge in Bitcoin's price, driven by its inherent scarcity and growing recognition as a hedge against inflationary pressures. While Wu's bullish forecast sets an optimistic tone for Bitcoin's future, recent insights from a consumer survey conducted by Deutsche Bank present a more nuanced perspective. The survey findings reveal a palpable division among respondents regarding Bitcoin's trajectory, with approximately 1/3 expressing negativity about its price prospects. These individuals anticipate Bitcoin's value to plummet below $20,000 by year-end, representing a stark deviation from the prevailing bullish sentiment. Adding to the discourse, Arthur Hayes, co-founder of BitMEX, offers a dissenting view characterized by a bearish outlook on Bitcoin's post-halving performance. In a comprehensive analysis shared via a blog post, Hayes outlines his concerns regarding the potential for a significant price decline after the halving. While many analysts anticipate a bullish rally during the halving period, Hayes posits a scenario in which Bitcoin experiences a more subdued trajectory, emphasizing the need for careful consideration amid heightened market volatility. The launch of Bitcoin runes played an important role in the spike in the total number of transactions over the Bitcoin network. Amid increasing Bitcoin use for day-to-day purchases, the Bitcoin network recorded the highest number of confirmed payments on April 23rd. 3 days after stepping into the new halving cycle on April 20th, the Bitcoin network processed over 1.6 million unique transactions between sender and receivers. Comparing data from blockchain.com and Glassnode shows a direct correlation between the launch of Bitcoin runes, an alternative to Bitcoin ordinals and the BRC20 protocol on the Bitcoin blockchain, and the spike in daily Bitcoin transactions. According to Dune Analytics data, runes represented 81.3% of all Bitcoin transactions on April 23. However, Bitcoin eventually reclaimed the lion's share of transactions over the network. As of April 29th, Bitcoin represented 77.8% of all Bitcoin transactions, while runes contributed 18.8%. Other transactions on the Bitcoin network comprise ordinals 1.2% and BRC20 2.3% transactions. The increase in the number of Bitcoin runes transactions has worked in the favor of the mining industry. Two of the biggest mining firms operating in the United States, Stronghold Digital Mining and Marathon, highlighted the positive influence of runes from both a financial and functional perspective in correspondence with Cointelegraph. Rune transactions have added over 1,200 bitcoins worth of transaction fees to miners since the Bitcoin halving took effect. While the hype around runes is evidently subsiding, the pseudonymous decentralized finance (DeFi) researcher Ignas sees it as a real market opportunity. Ignas wrote in an April 17th X post, quote, "Runestone are sick and pups are already pumping, promising holders shiny new Rune Talker airdrops, and FOMO threats keep coming, but like the NFT frenzy post JPEG reveal, the market could soon cool off," end quote. Runes and BRC20 tokens are new fungible token standards aiming to create more utility for Bitcoin in a new paradigm known as Bitcoin DeFi, or Bitcoin 5 for short. And for today, that is all. If you liked this video, I encourage you to put a comment below. This will help us to grow our publicity. And also remember to subscribe and like the episode. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next episode.
We are Kanga, beyond crypto.